Oh, here we go. Here we go. Going to just enjoy the time, you know, not do anything crazy.
Good to see you, my boy.
Not doing any mayhem levels just yet. Just kind of enjoy the gameplay and have fun. You know what? I don't even know what's over here. Alright, so I have this unkempt herald and corrosive. It's kind of odd to see an unkempt herald corrosive.
Your weakness is noted. Let's see if my knife is in your
Alright, can't come over here until you actually get a mission for it. I'm so surprised they didn't just like, why not just put it right here? Facing that way. Or facing like this way. Why is it like tucked away in a corner in a weird spot? Oh my god, I didn't even see this.
The bloodshed, the chaos. Good boy.
It's just like, alright, that's kind of funny. It just dies because it took enough damage, but then it shattered. Alright, I'm just gonna try to finish up the side quest area and do the other ones on the map. Gotta remember to try to get better thumbnails. I did a whole big thumbnail gimmick with the bathhouse, but then it's like, your thumbnail doesn't match that. It's like, alright, so I gotta try to make my thumbnails match a little bit.
I missed you, boy.
It was time to clear out those vile rustlers. Only good rustler is a dead one with his head cut off and stuck between his legs so he can smell his own. What I'm saying is, I really hate rustlers.
Okay, so
That's the spirit.
the narrator thing solves the issue I think the base game was having with just like having the well, so like Jack was basically like always kind of in your ear saying something. Kind of throughout the most of the entry, it wasn't like adding anything but, you know, context to the antagonist you're trying to go up against, like the final boss. And so that kind of, I don't want to say goes away, but it definitely doesn't get replaced properly. Because, like, the whole thing is like, oh, he's supposed to be big and powerful, so he can't give you, like, the attention. And the dilemmas that something like the Calypso's concept have is the enemies, or like they themselves as antagonists, give you too much direct attention. It's like, no, if they were supposed to be in that position of like a hyper streamer, they wouldn't be really acknowledging you as a person. Like, so like you would always have the downfall of them not giving enough attention, and then you would work to like grab their attention. And that is something that was missing out of them as bad guys, in a sense, is this idea that, you know, if they were supposed to be like internet streaming, they would see you as like, oh, you're just a regular bandit psycho, which was what Jack was doing the whole time. Instead, they give you like way too much attention because you were calling yourself, you know, the Vault Hunter and everything. And then they throw in like the Vault Chief thing there. It's like, oh, that doesn't really even like, until like you did like the first Vault why in the world would they even give you attention anyways? Or they would always be like playing off like, oh, you'll give us the vault key eventually. Like everybody comes around, and they really just like, it was kind of a missed opportunity. In that, now in retrospect, like what they could have done was really like drive home the fact that they don't really see you on par with them, or even really acknowledge that you exist. There's a whole thing over here. So that, at the end of the day, was what kind of made those enemies really dry. And here they're kind of substituting it with like this narrator thing, but the narrator could have easily have been like the sheriff, you know, like, oh, he's not out here. He helped you out, and the reason he's not helping you is because he ends up getting shot and injured, and then he can't help you because he can't respawn or whatever. So like making the whole dedicated narrator, instead of like just having the narrator also just be the sheriff, and then like having the sheriff like in your head, or you know, talking to you in the background every now and again, like probably would have been just slightly better tuned than the solution we got here.
I like your enthusiasm, beast. Never-ending. Let the life bleed from you. Too many to count.
Vault Hunter made short work of them lowlives.
I should make sure the rancher is safe.
Howdy there.
Excuse me. I have dealt with the threat. Are you well?
I'm good, but I barricaded myself up a bit too well, and I need an assist getting out. Well, slap my hind parts and call me for supper. A gunslinger of your caliber in my neck of the scourge? I'm sure it's fit lucky you done come along and handled them ruffians. But they ain't never gonna leave me be, long as they's tented up down the way. Mind kindly clearing out their camp? Now them underbucks ain't exactly what you'd call subtle, so I was figuring it shouldn't be too much of a bother to
So
find
yeah,
out where they done come
when you
from.
consider just what
And if you find any of my scaly
the
darlings,
base
they
game
rustle,
villains were,
send
and
'em
one
on
of the
back
probably
to me,
roots to
will
what
ya?
made him bad villains. It's like Jack gives you attention because he set the trap. It's like, oh, this trap I'd set. You know, it's not only there, but you don't. There's no like intro trap thing. You come in on basically the middle of events in 2, so you don't ever really get the opener that really makes sense to like the villains being important. So they try to put that into like just the start of the game. Like, oh, here's just these people who are, you know, not alluded to in the previous game. It's like I get like we couldn't really do that just because of the way like they you know simply seem like set up, you know, 2 from 1, and the idea that they were gonna have that villain be in that position. And it really seems like at the end of the day, it's like, you know, gotta make, you know, this franchise kind of keep on going because you know it's just too popular to pass upon. But at the same time, really to continue on that, you. I'm just gonna turn it down a little. So when you end up having just like, you know, villains that give you
Yes. To the blood.
You can't really identify what they're like providing you, and like
You're already
they're not really strong and moral. It's like the whole time like, oh yeah, they're kind of open up a big vault and cause a lot of headache for everybody. So like there's less of an incentive for the vault hunter to really kind of exist outside of like the, you know, vaults in between. So, you know, the vault on Athenas and Promethea, without those vaults, the you know, motivation or the, you know, the titling of Vault Hunter doesn't really apply to the main character in any meaningful capacity. Just
It is time to return to the rancher.
you're just like doing the vault thing to stop bad guys from getting a hold of it, and they technically never do. And it's like, oh, they're supposed to have like all this information, how they're having such trouble getting to the vault and everything. So instead of being like, oh, we manipulated you this whole time, like, oh, we always knew about like coming after and getting the siren and everything, which would answer like the Lilith problem that they have at the beginning of the game. It's like, you know, they take the idea, like, let's say they take Lilith out of the game so that she doesn't have a reason to go into the field and be a combat, and then they do that with Maya anyways, and so it's like, oh, that's why it's dangerous to go out there with, you know, a person who can siphon powers out. So, like, the villains could have worked. The structure behind it is one of the weird things.
I got some choring for you to do if you're up for helping me out around the ranch.
Great, more side quests. Go here, click on that.
Now that you went and free-ified all my scaly darlings, I got me some more work needs doing. See, one of my flock went and ate up my leg a while back. I'm saving up for a fancy robot.
So, like, I think one of the things that, if you just reordered some of the stuff, you could have probably ended up with a far better story. What? No, what's this mission? What's going on?
Task was simple enough, and folks in town would appreciate some nice fresh eggs. Bit of a scramble, maybe. Or an omelet if you're feeling fancy and you don't mess it up. In which case, you end up with a scramble.
Oh. But yeah, so if the orders were slightly different, like, if the whole thing was like, oh, we're constantly like getting these threats from the you know, the bad guys, or in this case like the main antagonist. If you're, you know, like from Lilith's perspective, it's like a whole thing. It's like she's constantly getting, you know, threats like, oh, we're gonna come after your powers and things like that. That could have been even like a pull towards like
Old Daisy's got a taste for legs these days, as I can well attest.
wait,
So watch your
in the
walking
world
sticks.
release.
Honest day's
Oh,
work never hurt no one none. Well, except for the rancher, of course.
so in the orders, like in the setups, aren't really there. So the Calypsos who seem to just like not acknowledge the player at all in any meaningful capacity. What in the world? Hey, look, I'll kill her.
Daisy was unique, though. Her hide tougher than steel. Vault Hunter thought better of trying to put any hurt on her.
Oh, that's a lure to the milk farm. I mean, hold on here. You get out of here. Get.
Furious rage.
Oh wait. So she goes over there and then she jumps around. Because you're supposed to milk a reptile. Is that the gimmick here?
Time to bamboozle and let the
Oh, you're just feeding.
do its thing.
So yeah, like the orders, I think, probably would have helped out the story a little bit. I think so. Like if the villains were like always on the threat of Lilith and like saying, "Hey, we're gonna come after you and, yeah, and take your powers," and like they show that they can drain powers, and like you get the hint that they can drain powers, then
That's just for folks that
that would end up being, oh, so you're milking a dinosaur. What the heck?
time to deliver that.
So if you, like, you know, you
sweet
had that
milk.
issue at the beginning, then Lilith would have ended up needing to, like, you know, hide away and
That was some
be doing
honest
something,
chore.
you know, to get to safety. So like the whole thing was like, oh, we need to leave the planet pretty darn soon and everything. And then, you know, as you're trying to go out there and get the things to be and the point of safety is where you get, is where Lilith should get ambushed. It's like, you know, still doesn't matter. It's like, oh, you know, Siren 1 on 2, or it's just like not a situation that should work out even with someone trained or untrained. And then that's where they could have like really defined like what she does at the end of the day. I guess they can't actually be hurt because you're not supposed to hurt them. Oh, was this a melee one?
Pop to the maw and out of all the teeth. Easier said than done, I suppose.
It's such a weird mission. It's like, oh, here's things like you might have to do on an actual farm, which is like, you know, you have to be a little rough with the animals because sometimes they'll just like be really rough with you. Alright, I'm trying to get teeth out of this, guys. And so if you had then, well, this, you know, under like attack, it's like you're doing something else somewhere else. It doesn't really matter at that point. The whole thing is like, oh, you're trying to book it out quick because the ship isn't complete and everything, so everybody's in a rush hurry to, you know, get out. And so they end up having to book it out of the you know, Pandora as quickly as you can, so it kind of becomes like an off-limits space. I think that would have been a better, you know, setup to everything. Rather than you happen to demand high levels of attention from the player, like at all times, with, you know, constantly going back to Lilith and everything. Like, there isn't a lot of independent story bits there that actually piece together what is actually going on. Instead, it's like very much like segregated story pieces that were like written like just independently. It's like, oh, they had like a story. It's like, oh, we have a story where we go to a distant planet and do this vault thing. Hence like Eden 6 and Prometheus. It's like, but we can't really make a story out of this. Like, it's the same story over and over again. Like, we'll never be able to like produce a complex enough game with this sort of story. So they like then decided, oh, let's go to other planets, because it was originally said like, I feel like Prometheus was like the place to go. That was kind of set up in some of the other games.
Hey, you! Nah, you wouldn't be interested. Unless you want to get your hands on some real firepower.
Wait.
Are you in the market for a genuine, rarefied, bona fide firearm? Original company elite stock. Restored to its original condition by yours truly.
And so then like you would rush off. I think the best thing would have been to do Eden 6 first. So then you would have gone to Eden 6 because you needed a nav system, because it's like, oh, we only have like a few locations that we can actually go to because the nav system that we have just isn't complex enough.
You made the right decision, friend. You won't regret it. Now, on account of the fact that it's dangerous.
And so then you would have gone to Eden 6 and had a reason for the Baymax navigation thing, because you would have gone there and like you detected, hey, you know, there's like this nav thing here and it's being protected by Jacobs. And it's like, oh, we have a friend on Jacobs with Wainwright and Hammerlock and things, and oh, you can incorporate them right away, or something like that. Or even could have been like an indicator of whatever. I'm just gonna, that kind of is a great way of handling that, in my opinion. You just say you now incorporate like existing characters and like, oh, you can revisit them. It's like, oh, Hamlock said he was gonna be here, so that's why they had the ship as the location of Eden 6 on it, because you had taken off to go do it.
I have never seen a more pathetic excuse for a weapon.
Wait, can you even use this thing? What is this gun? The iron-wielded shady. I gotta put this on real quick. Hold on.
Suppose it would serve if I were seeking to
It's a one-shot shotgun. Is it even any decent?
I must hunt down Stickley for that money-back guarantee.
Something didn't smell right about this whole situation. Vault Hunter went about getting some answers.
confront that turd farmer. Wait, can it even do damage? I don't think it can even do 100% genuine fake ups. Oh, it would have been really cool if they like sent it that extra, like, you know, mile and put in the name fake ups into like the actual like, gun name. That would have been kind of funny. You can put, he looks like a little toy when you have the this one on it. The accuracy. I don't think it's impossible to kill anything with this. It's doing little amounts of damage. I guess if we make a headshot. Alright, that's kind of funny in a weird way. I had... Actually, you know what? I'm going to try something different just to... I think I tried that one yesterday. I'm trying to just, you know, mix it up a little bit. You know what? I will try a Jacob's gun just because I'm so OP at this point. Give myself a little challenge. Track down the money back guarantee. So yeah, the order of things.
Stickley, show yourself.
Show yourself.
I demand you return my money immediately.
That bona fide charlatan Stickley is taking
Charlatan.
the money and run. Vault Hunter's set to
It's
track
stuffed
the
loser.
bastard down and getting their money back.
Guaranteed.
If you're hearing this, you're a sucker! Here's your guarantee! You ain't ever gonna find me!
Stickley, oh Stickley. The hunt is on. Now, to find your scent. It reads, I am Stickley, and I am the lowest form of vermin, blah, blah, blah.
Alright, that's kind of funny.
It says something about a fort.
The papers Stickley left behind seem to point to the nearby fort.
I see. A fort. That is where Stickley will meet his timely end.
So yeah, like then you have a reason to go Eden 6, and then it's like you kind of get you would then get it alluded on that Eden 6 has a vault, and that well, this is where like the tricky sticky bits are coming into the story. 'Cause it's like, oh, if you have who's supposed to be the original vault hunter who found all the, you know, major vaults already, like, so like Typhon de Leon makes like the story writing. He not only is like a crux to how the story was made, he's also the hindrance of it. Like he's too much of the issue of the story. So can I actually go here? No, you can't go to it and you get the mission? That's annoying. So he's both like the hindrance of the story from being fixable, but he's also like the reason that it's not terrible. Like, because his lines are actually kind of funny. He's actually like an entertaining character. Those are things that the other characters just don't hold up on their shoulders. It's like you know, you're on the third game here of Lilith. You only really had one game with you like you're learning something about her. Just because Borderlands 1 had like no character development, which isn't a problem. However, at the end of the day, you can't do it while you're on the vehicle, you chump, you sucker, you son of a gun, you over here. So yeah, that makes it really difficult to like actually like, get involved with the characters and actually learn and enjoy them when the character development almost doesn't exist at the end of the day.
Rest now. The hunt sings! I will never never stop hunting you, Stickley. At least not until I get my money back.
Money.
I'll
Like,
consider
at this point in the game, it was like a fairly minor amount of money. It's almost not even worth like going out just because the mission would never pay me more than the actual like money I would get from completing another mission. What in the world? Huh? Alright. But yeah, so story-wise, continuing on with like what you would do to fix past Eden 6 is that you would have to then in the world is in the messages. Oh, here we go. Got some action. Gonna have to think for a minute.
you there. How are your last
Nope.
reps going?
Gotta go and hide real quick. Here we go. What's going on here? What's all this nonsense? There's so much nonsense here. I can't even tell what I'm doing. Yes. So you would work after Eden 6. You would get on to doing you'd shuffle things around. The whole like storyline of Eden 6 is kind of bloated and overdone. It really needs to be like delayed. You need to like come back to it after a while. It shouldn't. It's the whole thing is that you do a lot of the missions on the planets like all at once. It's one thing to like jump around and just like have people jumping around, but because you have to like leave Promethea and then come back to it later, is one of the kind of dilemmas that it has. And you get sort of, there's nothing that like ties together stuff in a meaningful way. Like so, like you do the rogues gallery thing or the rogues mission setup, and like you couldn't identify like where that is when you're on the planets, and that goes into like the issues with the planets themselves and how they just have to set the story up. The which one is this? Okay, it's my third.
Stickley, I have come for you. Face your inevitable consequences.
Is somebody out there? Help me out of here! Help! Those bastards took me prisoner. Also, I'm very claustrophobic. Someone help me!
And so you, so like the thing with like planets, like they just made them like these sort of small, tiny little things that didn't have a lot going on. Then actually, it probably would have been better because it allowed them to make, it would allow them to have made smaller areas that they then could have grown and made more identifiable. So one of the issues is that the story doesn't, the locations aren't identifiable to the actual wait, is your deal?
Me and my militia, the Marx Brethren, have been fighting to retake this fort. But some swindler tricked me good and I ended up all locked up here. And he stole my uniform. I think his name was Dickory, Sickly, Prickly.
Stickley, that swindler trash. Where is he?
Well, stranger, you're in luck. He may be a smooth talker, but he's also a loudmouth. Heard him say he was heading back to his hideout in the abandoned mines. Oh, and try to get my uniform back, won't you?
Oh, so like, how's it an abandoned mines if there's actually people there?
Might finally have that
Are they just like mines that are no longer being operated on, or what?
little rat.
Wait, don't I have a ride still? You know what? Heck, I'll go to that. It's not a bad location. It's out in the middle of nowhere. Yeah. So, like the whole, some of the deal that actually hinders the story from actually being viable and really enjoyable overall is the fact that it has too much weight with it. Like, so far this has actually been a better experience, has a little more of a separated out map. It's not really super clustered or anything. Didn't I get this one? my god, there's so many things here to do. Well, so like when you have all this, like, so this sword piece is working out because it has really separated out distinct areas, but like Pandora and Prometheus map is just, it sits in like in this weird gray area of being like decent but also like kind of bad. It's weirdly tight, and I do want to say well put together. It's kind of not, but it sits in that weird gray space of being like put together and usable or serviceable, but it never really becomes more than that. It just kind of like gets fixed. Yeah, we got this nonsense. Same one again and again. And you when you're on it, you're on this planet that is supposed to be high-tech and futuristic, but it becomes like apocalypse nature. And it's like, oh, all these planets are just having a problem, or is it just like the one? So can hardly tell at the time what the components are to making a good map. So like what's in this map that makes it bad and what makes it good? It's kind of a thought exercise in and of itself.
Accelerating.
You can't open here. What do you mean it can't open there? When am I dying? So yeah, Prometheus map. It's like they didn't. I don't see why they had to go with the apocalypse theme on it. And another thing, it's like they have like the big buildings and skyscrapers. There was no getting on top of this. Like there was such a missed opportunity. I think I'm gonna make the claim here that there was a missed opportunity with like being on top of the buildings in Prometheus and like seeing what it's all about, and like, you know, there could have been more opportunity in that space to get on the planet and really like show it something. And then that's something that is at the end of the day, like the maps like that, you know, there's no distinguishing features. That's a feature that could be distinguishing, is this on top of the buildings, you're actually doing something that has to be traversing between those, and that could have been in and of itself like, oh, you gotta find information out. So what do you do is you go and get information. Yeah, I can't move. It's electricity shock, I guess. Alright, oh my god. Like these guys, they just hit every shot. That's crazy. Like, look at that. That explosive radius is wide big enough, it just whacks you. Alright.
We were gonna get froyo after this fight!
Oh.
Death, do you see me?
So yeah, the sword pieces, that was like a missed opportunity on Prometheus, and then, so like, there's almost, you start getting less and less of a reason to have the story being on all these planets, and they had, so there's too much of it, like, I think they had to make too many compromises in between, having the maps big for the vehicle travel and like having purpose for vehicle travel versus like the infant being on the foot and you're on the ground gameplay, and that's where most of the things are done.
Good find.
And it's something that's like I've been noticing out here. It's like they really kind of put the areas kind of really a little bit closer. Oh shit! I didn't mean to do that. Hopefully my ride. Nope, my ride died. All right, it's kind of funny. I mean, it should be right over there, right? It's got to go around. So they did better, like putting more, you know, spawn points on this map and getting things closer together. Versus, like, I think even 6 is pretty bad. It's like they have one little driving mission out in the area where you could be driving like once or twice, like tops, and there's like not a reason to go out there again. And Pandora, like all the areas on Pandora are just so indistinguishable from each other. They're so empty and boring. Like they, you know, kind of did that. It seemed like they did that in 1 because they needed to pad out the area, and in 2, like every single area was like pretty darn unique. Like they didn't let an area like become too empty. Like even like you know, 3 horns. It's probably the most bland area in 2, but you only do a few things on it, and nothing else is important. So your time on it is so few that it kind of stands out in and of itself. Like the number of missions that you do on something like the Dust are pretty darn complicated. You do them over and over and over again. So
Sheriff says you saved the town, but I think a snake went and slithered into the henhouse.
You ever see a snake as thick as me? Look, I'm not trying to pick a fight, Deputy. And I am not asking any of you to forgive me for what I've done.
Good, cause you ain't gonna get nothing from me or any of these folk. Why, if I gunned you down, town folk would call me a hero.
You take another step towards me, Titus, and you'll lose a hand.
Wouldn't be the first notch in your belt now, would it? Yeah, I bet that hatchet of yours has cut down
You know,
plenty of
try it.
lawbringers like me over the years. Just know, I'll be watching you.
Same here, Deputy.
I probably should just go and get the SKUs for all the other ones. Alright. I think the Atlas rocket launchers are probably... I don't know, I think I barely knocked them down a few too early. Just didn't find the right ones to figure them out with. How am I supposed to get down there? So yeah, one of the other, so like next thing that you would have to do, so like, just looking at 3 horns, and then like what is that comparable to 3? It's like kind of really nothing. The maps on Pandora, just like focusing just on those. If anything, you kind of do the story things a little right. The story things on 3 are done a little better, because you come back to the space after you've basically been kicked off of it. It's like they almost had the idea like we gotta kick you off of Pandora, and like you can't come back much later. But they decided, oh, you just can kind of go anywhere, wherever. But like, if the whole purpose of
Look at that. This one looks like they was killed by Pterodomini, a supersonic creature.
Fancy looking tech right there. Didn't seem like the Vault Hunter could use it yet, though.
I guess you get the thing later that they use to teleport,
That
and that
thing
gives
would
you.
eventually prove to be a handy bit of tech.
So
Not just
the
yet,
the
but
whole thing
eventually.
was that you could, you know, come back later and do the story pieces, and it really seemed like they did show that up. It's like you're going to be on Pandora for just a little bit, then run. But the whole thing of having Tyreen get Lilith's power so that she can basically teleport any of the followers anywhere she wants, which should also mean anywhere on Sanctuary, wherever she wants them to be. So without having that be there fairly, you don't really get like the sense of like urgency in the same way. Like, I mean, like, and they literally were okay with Lilith like sending with like, you know, kind of the dumbest looking face in the world, the repeat with her just having the dumbest face in the world, like while getting berated and stuff, and like, what is this character's whole deal? Like, what were they going? What is like her purpose?
Come, friend. It will not hug you.
So she basically gets taken out of the game on purpose really early on. So instead of like trying to fix and sell the powers, like they could have easily had that like a quest line was like, oh, she has to go like to Athena's and meet up with Maya so she can figure out like how she can possibly get her powers back or what the deal with that actually is, and then maybe learn something. But instead they just like, oh yeah, we just accept the fact that she does no longer have powers. Like, she's supposed to have the most useful power apparently with teleportation and moving people around, and they even, you know, they changed it so much since the first game in the Phase Walker. And then it's just like, nope, she's just in the leadership role. It's like, you know, fine, they set that up, you know, they had to go back and set that up, you know, really reinforce it into, and it's like, very fine, and you know, the character has the experience and they've done the things and they have been in the role.
Hey, there you are, my favorite customer. Gosh, I've just been looking all over for you.
Led into this story piece to go through.
How'd that gun work out for you? Real beaut, ain't she?
Oh, the swindler was almost too pathetic to shoot.
Even the pet's like, nah.
I want my money, you cad. Otherwise, you will face a ferocity beyond anything you've known.
Whoa there! Oh, okay, you are clearly very serious about this, and I
Very
won't let my
serious, are
shining
you?
reputation for customer service be tarnished. So I'll go get you your money.
I also require the good general's uniform. And quickly.
Okay, just wait. Right there.
Oh, I did it to myself again.
This is my purpose.
No children, I'm very sorry. I won't say them for the...
That was a mistake. You will live to regret it, but not for long.
Hey, I've got an idea. Why don't you piss off? This place is tougher than a freaking bank vault. Good luck getting through here.
General Marks, I tracked down Stickley, but he's holed up tight. Any ideas?
I've got an idea. And if you help me get revenge on that swindler, I'll pay you double what you're owed. Got an old company cannon up at the fort. Head on back here. And when you get here, we're gonna need an artillery shell to fire. Scrounge around in the fort. There must be one we can use.
If I were Stickley, I would have run for the hills by then. Crossing a vault hunter was like buying a ticket on the express train to ruin. But that greedy bastard was too busy counting his ill-gotten stacks of cash.
So yeah, so like here's the thing like they could have done is that, okay, so they could have had just like the tutorial space up on Eden's up on Pandora, like you just do that, they run through, and then like you learn quickly, hey, we need to get off the planet because we have this bounty hunter, or we have this, you know, crazy siren lady who's stealing powers and is coming after, you know, this would be Lilith saying this, coming after me, and then like they're also hunting, you know, vault hunters too. Because, you know, they can't have competition. And so, alright, that pieces together things and adds some urgency to the situation, because it's like, if you wait too long, there a bunch of, you know, bandits just kind of come up on your corner and you get attacked. And so, like, you can make that whole little opener just a little, you can make that opener just, you know, a little more linear, than you otherwise would. And
Come on, boy.
that could be a primary spot to like open up the game and add story to it and make and really give like attention to the player without having to like worry about things. So it can introduce you to the villain pretty early on. And so now you have the urgency that's really been reinforced, and like, oh, they're dangerous enough that even, you know, another siren wants to get away, because that's just how much of a problem they've been. So like, all our forces have been, you know, just been butchered and beaten down because all the bandits are now organized, where before they weren't. You know, the most dangerous force in the world wasn't bandits. It was organized, or it was on the sirens. It was organized bandits, and then boom, you really kind of give like a danger to organize psychos and marauders and raiders, and that just like sounds like such a kind of a better thing, because the entirely down like, oh, it's kind of funny that they're like partially organized because they just like all following the cult. Like, you can still kind of keep those integrations and those crazy bits there, but that just, I think it just kind of takes away from them as being a threat when you're not giving them the proper attention and everything at first.
You got the shell? Good. Now get on over here and we'll send that Stickley bastard to ruin. Now that's a guarantee you can count on.
Oh, a cannon. Up, down? Oh, down.
Hey! Over here! You gotta free me before those devil riders come back!
Well, howdy, friend.
Wait a minute! You're the bastard who sold me those counterfeit guns!
Counterfeit? I think not, friend. Those guns were genuine bona fide antiques. But like I always say, if you're not completely 100% satisfied, I offer a money-back guarantee.
Tell that to my men! Devil riders just mowed them down! Locked me in here! Now get me out before they come back!
Afraid I can't do that. See, them devil riders? They're my business partners.
Business
How do
partners.
you think I get a hold of all those misfiring guns?
Misfiring.
You got stick-lead! Now hand me your jacket through those bars, or else!
Oh, else. All right, that's kind of funny. So yeah, so like, all right, now you have urgency. Lilith is like, you know, possibly a tough character, and is now being basically intimidated by an army that, you know, has just waxed down her friends and everything, or, you know, a lot of the, you know, supply and resources and everything that were available. And it's like, or you can't, you know, go against an army with just like a squad or a platoon. You need something a little more stronger, and then that's where like, oh, you could have integration, like, oh, this is like you need to get in contact with like Atlas or Malawan, because like they're one of the few people who can help you out because they have resources, and then you find out they're fighting, and then you would actually have the choice between, you know, helping out Atlas or Malawan for the attack back on the COB, because like there's now a new proper organization, and it's just like not having. I think there's like those choices like that could easily have just been really minor. You just needed a few choices like that to kind of change the story just a little bit, and I think it could have actually made a little bit dynamic to it. Like the whole conflict between Atlas and Malawan, like it's trying to be reminiscent of like stuff they've talked about in the past, which was like the corporate wars, and like they were just trying to like give you an idea what that looked like, but that was just like better, you know, left said than shown, or, you know, better shown in a past product or going back in some capacity. Make another sort of like proper prequel to the whole product.
Crossing me has sealed your fate, Stickley.
Yeah! Screw that bastard! Ain't no guarantees in life, I suppose. Said maybe that vengeance comes swiftly to those who cross you, stranger. Here's that bounty I promised. Thanks for making an old man smile. You know, at first I was shamefaced to be seen in my Skimpian secrets, but now it's kind of grown on me.
I guess we go back over there.
I think it'll be my new thing, you know? The Underpants General. Anyways,
Nah.
as for me, I think I'm getting too old for the fighting business. Even with the Marx Brethren at my side, I can't retake a fort to save my life, as it turns out. Maybe it's time I settle down and open up a shop in town. Come and see me sometime. By the way, you ever tried Doc Stanley's sweet and savory nectar of vengeance? I hear it ain't exactly approved by the reigning medical establishment, or any medical establishment, but it's got a lovely aftertaste of mango on the tongue, just saying.
So, alright, so now you've established, so in this case, my little thought exercise, you've established a little bit better precedence and or agency to the player, like, you know, why should you go out and you know, the Finn here, it's like, oh, they want to hunt vaults and everything, and so we now need to go get these vaults, and then boom, you're now doing the vault and everything, and like they could probably think through that a little bit more, like how that would tie together some, and now you have a reason to go to Eden 6, or like you kind of like Eden 6 should be like the first sort of like open area that kind of teaches you how to like be part of the open world and gives you that, it teaches you how to do the vehicles and riding and all that. You come over here for pennies. This is scrap money.
Let the hunt take you.
You don't see his body, so how do you know if he's actually dead or not? So yeah, there's like very minor choices that just could have come in and been that extra bit of flavor. Once again, I just want to zoom around the map, and it makes you like click on something of enormous giant hitbox. It's like you're clicking over here. Any more missions on this? No, it's just this one. And so they give you a bit of urgency, and it can allow you to start opening up the world a little bit. So now it's like, alright, so you go through Eden 6, and then you sort of get hints like, you know, she might be able to get her powers back if she, you know, meets up with like another siren or understands the history a little better, and thus would give the urgency to go to Athena's next after Eden 6, and then set up Promethea. And it's like, alright, you recruit, repower, figure things out, and boom, you're on. Ooh, what's this fast battle there? Gross.
Now, let's take the fight to Doc Stanley by using his own damn elixir again him. Find some so we can get this explosive show started.
So yeah, so now that you have urgency and you figure things out, so you're going through Eden 6, you're now on Athena's, and then you get the first actual vault you get to open. It's like, hey, now we have the ability to kind of really go after these vaults again and figure them out, because it was Lilith who knew how to make those things charge and stuff. And it would have been probably a better setup to have the leeching powers be more temporary on Tyrene's end. And then it would have been kind of, it probably would have been better if, like, they really define what her powers are and like what the limitations are. It's like she can only do like, you know, like a limited time thing. But then you can tell like they probably were running their head into like issue. It's like, oh, what's the purpose of having the characters if they just can just, you know, undo the powers are undone and everything. So I can see why they probably didn't want to go down that route. And this is probably where they probably start having issues with colliding of how the story should be put together.
This is gonna be so good.
It is done, and yet it is not.
Oh, come on then. It just needs a bit of encouragement. Do
Encouragement?
what you do best. Light it up and watch it burn.
Ain't seen that much fire and chaos since the bloodbath
Alright.
at Quinceañera Gulch.
That two-bit con artist just got a taste of his own medicine.
I had to do it.
Done yet, though.
I had to
Keep
do
at
it.
Now that Doc Stanley's elixir inventory is gone to ruin,
Alright, should
why
respawn
don't
right
you
there
go
though.
ahead and destroy all his refinery equipment so we can produce
I had to
more
do
of
it.
that
It was too
trash.
tempting.
Good to see you, my boy.
There's this moment away from the air.
Or clawing whispers at the edge of sleep. You may have brought something.
Neat.
A credit to the pack.
Take me on, Marshal!
Why is he over here? I teleport him over there. So, the blaring issues of the story and their villain setup are now becoming really more and more apparent as going through this little thought exercise. So how do you make
It's time to
the
fight.
characters make sense and actually seem intimidating? So perhaps like you go to Venus and then realize she can't get her powers back. They had one person in the past before who had this power, and this is the result of what happens when Siren doesn't pass on her powers, and they could have integrated that into the story better, and set up for it, and with the Ava and everything, because that never gets set up with, and then they never really did line it up lore-wise before, which is like, alright, they can they're getting away with that, but only because the are now answering the question. But that's also the problem, is that answering the question, or answering how the powers can be transferred, is also a bit of a detriment, because it also means
Executive sales team assemble. We've got
executive
saboteurs
sales
on
team.
Hey, whoever you are, listen up. I never met a customer I couldn't buy off or reason with using money. Come on over and let's chat.
Whatever your quarrel, friend, I got the cure. How's a
Dang, he's
lifetime
tall.
supply of Doc Stanley's miracle elixir sound?
I've seen what your poison does, so I will decline your perilous offer, charlatan.
Well, well, we got ourselves a negotiator. Okay, I've got just the thing for you. Here, catch.
Oh, thank you, gunslinger. Doc Stanley can't fool brain-dead hypochondriacs like my late husband no more.
Hypochondriacs.
Hey, now that my dumb husband ain't spending my every last penny on some hogwash cure, I can afford to pay ya.
Toxic relationships like that anyways.
Suffering from devil's foot? Try Doc Stanley's new and improved miracle elixir. If your ailment's chronic, try my tonic. Suffering from shock and yeehaw? Try Doc Stanley's new and improved miracle elixir. If your flesh is a-stinking, better start drinking.
Yeah, so what do you do when your story starts getting complicated? you can clearly tell that the story issues were kind of starting early on. They were kind of leaving themselves a bit of more of a puzzle than what should probably actually be
out there looking for a
done.
miracle. At least now there's one less miracle hawker on Gehenna. But if I know one thing, it's that miracles don't come in bottles. Now, can I interest you in a sample of Doc Heena's miracle grenade?
Miracle grenade.
Huffing core make you blind? Suffering from a devil bite? You don't need a fancy city... Doctor friend, if you need a quick fixer, try my elixir. That's Doc Stanley's Miracle Elixir, on sale now.
What the heck is this gun?
Hands up, Devil Rider! We got you surrounded!
Don't you kill me yet. I came of my own accord to warn you. Just kill her, Kato. We can't trust her.
Guns down, Tomodachi's. We'll let the sheriff sort this devil rider out.
Fine, but don't you change guards. You've got a traitor in your midst, and the town's in danger. Dawn, that's when they'll come, riding like ruin. You'd better be ready for them.
So as I'm doing this little thought experiment, it's still struggling to figure out what one might even do with this story. Like, it sounds like if it wasn't in the Borderlands franchise, it wouldn't have been too bad. It probably would have been somewhat bearable and actually decent if it was in a non-Borderlands franchise. If it was, or maybe if it wasn't involving the same characters and it was like in a different, you know, universe or setup, that probably would have been a better result at the end of the day than what was kind of put here. It's like there's, you know, definitely too many cooks in the story. Definitely too many characters doing things. Sheriff's office. Oops. Oh no, I gotta get out of here.
Predator with flair.
Gonna have copyright music. Oh no. Oh, gotta run. Oh, this can't be good.
That badge should be mine. There's no way Sheriff gave it to you. There's just no way.
Dang, she's freaking massive compared to him.
That's what the bounty hunter said. And why would they lie? They don't owe me dirt.
Why'd Sheriff pick you then?
Was she this big the first time he ran into her?
What the hell did he see in you?
I don't know. Didn't have a chance to find out. But if you want to dig up the old bastard and ask him yourself, by all means, go ahead, Titus. Got a shovel out back you can use.
Now you listen here. The only man in town who ever trusted you is dead. I know it, and you know it.
I do know it. I've lived with it every damn day since I got here. Now, if you're looking to scrap Titus, take your shot. I got some grief to work out. Well, I'm right here, Titus.
Oh, I'm thinking about it.
You just let me know.
Vault Hunter figured it was time to show Juno the big and ugly that Rose was looking to hatch.
Hey, bounty hunter. Titus was just leaving.
Yeah, I think I better be off. For your sake, Juno. You be careful around the hatchet, Tomodachi. She's got so much blood on her hands, she can't see the lines anymore.
Well, how'd it go up there? If you didn't find the stone, I'm guessing it's bad news.
The stone is really an egg. The company-bred beast inside is called the Ruiner.
The Ruiner. Wait, something's wrong.
Devils! Incoming!
Mercy, protect us! Start shooting already! I'm out! Perfectly good day! Screw it!
Devils in town? That don't make no damn sense. They never come up here. Don't matter. Fight now, talk later. Let's go, bounty hunter!
I gotta find people bullet!
Exhilarating!
Are you?
Going real well, till I die.
He just goes up and punches it.
Fire hot! Real hot!
I hear you, beast!
Kind of curious
Nice fighting, bounty hunter. Now
to
come
how
on, over
many
here.
shots I was actually making back on that.
What shall we do now, Sheriff?
Oh, don't you call me that. Now walk with me. Something I gotta tell you. About what Titus said. Look, I used to be a devil rider. They called me the Hatchet. I killed plenty in my time, and I'll take that to my grave. That's why the town don't trust me. We used to just raid the town for supplies, but when Rose took over, things changed. She wanted a massacre. I couldn't take that kind of blood on my hands, so night before, I slipped out to warn these towny bastards. Even helped them fight off the devil riders myself. After that, Sheriff let me stay. Said, you ain't gonna find forgiveness here, but you can damn well fight for it. Titus thinks I'm fighting to save the town. More like I'm trying to save myself. Anyway, if we're gonna fight this fight together, I just thought you should know. Sheriff had some guns here. I'd say you earned them.
Devastator, huh? Yeah, Devastator was basically always considered like the bad knockoff Unkempt Herald, because it like was never as punchy, it never shot as fast, and you basically had a smaller mag in general. But I'll run it. Seems like it's
The Ruiner.
closer towards
Rose used to
Thorns,
talk about it from time to time.
Orange, whatever.
We all thought she was touched. Guess we were wrong. Now, I don't know how Rose plans to hatch that egg, but there's someone tonight. Old crone by the name of Oletta. Lives in the forest. Go see what she knows. The old woman ain't a devil rider. That don't mean she cares about us.
Oh no. Copywritten music. The bane of anyone's existence.
Oh, it was a hell of a thing, the hatchet turning on the devil riders like she did. Whew. When Rose found out, she put quite the price on Juno's head. Even offered some extra coin if some mean bastard could manage to do the deed with her own hatchet.
Have some money. Now why not spend it?
I ain't gonna toss him.
Everyone
I'm
has
too likely
their
to
price.
kill myself with the rocket launchers.
Shoot more, shot more guns. Guns, but more could you run?
The name's Josie. I'm a coffin maker when one needs making. These days, though, clientele are a bit thin on the ground, or under the ground, as it were. It's the sheriff's old dueling band. But fluster not, now that he's gone to his sweet everlasting, I got in mind a foolproof plan. Head to the gambling hall. Sure as the dead lie still, where there's dice, dueling ain't far behind.
The gambling hall, where crooked folks played crooked games. Vault Hunter knew that for better or worse, they'd find trouble there that needed sorting.
Put me down! Gosh darn you to ruin Drunk William! Someday you'll pay for this!
That's how they met Slim, with his backside in the sand and beat half hollow. Vault Hunter decided to lend a hand, seeing as they were already in the neighborhood.
Think I busted my dang coccyx! Mighty obliged. Those fellas are as loose as a noose and twice as twisted. They took my money and tossed me on my behind. I'd avenge myself, but my shooting hand's about as steady as a snake with two rattles.
Any creature can learn to kill. It's only a matter of motivation. I will teach you.
Heck, I'll do it if it means I can settle my score with Drunk William. And I know just the place to practice. Follow me.
Slim's daddy, Lightning Luke, was something of a local legend. When Slim was born, he was a spitting image. Now he's all grown, except for the spine. Most everybody was tickled they could kick Luke's boy around, but if anyone's got dueling in the blood, it's Slim.
Sometimes I sneak back here to enjoy my drinks in solitude and safety. There are some bottles lying about. Maybe you can show me some of that sharp shooting of yours? Just give those bottles the old woofer. Go on. Well, don't that beat all? You're a damn fine shot, friend. How'd you manage that?
I aligned the weapon's sights with the target and fired. It's fairly simple.
Whoa, what a thrill! I'm feeling fresher than a two-mint julep. How'd I do?
You did about as well as I've come to expect of a human, which is to say, terribly. It was as though you listened keenly to every word of my advice, and then did the exact opposite. I'm astonished you've survived this long.
Wow, that's the nicest thing anyone's ever said to me. But what if Drunk William shoots me? Wish I had some armor.
Slim wasn't about to cross irons with Drunk William with nothing but stitches and sand to keep him standing. Vault Hunter knew they'd have to find some protection for him if they wanted him to grow the stones for a duel. Safety first. Might not stop a bullet, but it might make a man think twice before shooting.
Perfect. I'm gonna go get ready for the duel before I forget all the training. Boy, if my papa could see me now, my first duel, my fingers are all in fits, I tell you. Ain't no turning back now. I'll wait here while yous go tell that no good, low down, lousy, lack-wit Drunk William that I'm a-calling him out to duel.
Drunk William liked to think he was the toughest mother's son this side of the sand. The type of fella who'd chew the fleas off a skag and ask for seconds. But someone needed to put him in his place, which is to say, an unmarked hole in the dirt. Whether Slim had the grit, though, well, that remained to be seen.
You should have seen the look on Slim's face. I just want to drink my sarsaparilla tea in peace, he says. Sure, I said. Drink up. Then I took his glass, drained it, and spat in his stupid face.
Drunk William, Slim is outside and wishes to duel you. I don't mean to be rude, but I think it would be best for everyone, everywhere, if you lost.
What? Slim wants to duel me? Ha! All right, I could use a laugh. You tell him I'll be right out.
Drunk William was ready for a fight. Nothing for the Vault Hunter to do but tell Slim to get ready. Ready as he could get, anyhow.
He is on his way. I've always thought you were weak. Now is your chance to prove me wrong.
Don't you worry about me. I've never felt better in all my years. I was born for this. I'm headed for glory. Wait, my head. My head's better than old Pete's domicile. Quick, give me something for my skull cap. Good enough. Toss it up there on the old thinkerator. Golly, my brains are locked up tighter than Granny's pearls. Now I've really got a leg up on Drunk William. Wait, my legs, quick!
Enough blathering, Slim. Let's get to blasting. Bounty Hunter, you ring that bell over there so I know when I can finally kill this sloppy SOB. We drive the sound of the bell.
Fine by me. May as well hang up your holster already, Drunk William. While you were drinking with your friends, I studied the way of the iron.
Well, don't that beat all? Slim survived, but only just. And he only found his feet with the Vault Hunter's help.
The pack leaves no one behind.
That kicks like a 3-heel-hot dam, but I'm alive. I feel like there's lightning in my veins and thunder in my throat. Next time someone's fool enough to take me on, I'm gonna write my name in their blood. Ain't nobody gonna call me the son of lightning Luke no more. Y'all can call me Slim Thunder.
Another answers the call of the hunt. And his name is Slim Thunder.
Ooh, there's a new killer in town. Y'all better believe it.
Huh. He survived? Well, come on back, Bounty Hunter, so you can get your coin and I can get to work building boxes. Well, I don't know if dueling's gonna catch on like it used to, but the more folks killing each other, the better my business booms. Besides, if this town's gonna survive, we need the roughest roughnecks to know their way around the irons. It's just survival of the fittest, that's all. Till next time, Bounty Hunter.
Crossing the blast plains. Here we go again.
forest. Dangerous place, that. Full of strange flora and stranger fauna, including wayward core-infused experiments from, you guessed it, the company days.
Honestly, if they had shotgun it, I probably would switch to it from the end.
No refund.
It was hard to believe, but the Devil Riders actually got the railway working again. What they were doing with it, though? Well, you'll find out soon enough.
Let them hear your rage! Icy prey.
It had a thing.
Another! War! This is my purpose! Who's my little predator? You are. Let the hunt take you!
The old woman lived all alone in the heart of the forest. She was a strange bird, that one.
Actually, if anything, this will probably make for a slightly better thumbnail. Need it.
I like you better dead. Death! Do you see me? Masterful.
Laser burns. Those blast points too accurate for Devil Riders. Only the Laserdactyl is so precise. You'll have to track it down and kill it before it strikes again.
I like your enthusiasm, beast.
Take a clamp over.
Yes, into the fray! A meager life, a fitting death. Exhilarating!
The forest told me someone was coming. So, why are you here?
Juno sent me.
Juno?
Haven't talked to her since she went and moved into that human cage they call a town. Can't imagine what business she'd have with me. What's this about?
I've heard of a beast called the Ruiner. Rose is attempting to hatch it. Tell me what you know.
Of course she is. The fool. This way. Come on now. I'll tell you what I know. I need your help with something. The Ruiner. Company always loved its dramatic names. Interitus Regina was designed as the apex of bioengineered weapons. Company scrapped the project when they realized it couldn't be controlled. There's a piece of raw core over there. Grab it for me. I used to work for the company, you know. The Dominus Project. That was mine. Good, good. Now, bring it here. Just give me a moment to work. You see, I believe I found a way to temporarily charm hostile creatures, and even humans. The Mentis Dominion, or Mentonats, to keep it simple, are unique species of parasitic bugs which, when exposed to infused core, can seize the minds of their victims. In theory, anyway. Now for the final step. Ooh, this is exciting. There. Infused core. Quite a bit more potent than its raw form. This way. Come on now. Now, add a small piece of the infused core to each of the Mentonats breeding containers. There are only a few left that still need it. I've already taken care of the others. If my experiment is successful, you'll be able to temporarily turn enemies into allies. Meaning you just might survive this place. And sure, Rose may have passed through here safely, but she has her own methods. Kind of beautiful, aren't they? Now that that's done, we'll finish my experiment and make those bugs work for us. Go on, I'll give you the honor. Release the Mentonats, and we'll see if the experiment was a success. Look, out there. It's working. The bugs will now be attracted to the Gallius vertium flora across Gehenna, more commonly known as traitor weed. Agitating the plant will cause the bugs to seek a nearby host. Marvelous. But there's one more step. Come here. Before we can call the experiment a success, we must try this on a live specimen. This way.
Don't hold back!
Oh, great.
Rambunctious beasts, aren't they? But we can change that, yes indeed. Damage the traitor weed plant to see the results of our efforts. The Mentonats will then seek a new host, thus taming the belly. I'll be in here taking notes.
Good boy.
Wait, do I have a special thing for this?
Success! You didn't doubt me, did you? Ha ha ha! The joy of discovery still thrills my heart. Wait, that...
Your weakness is noted. Run! Run, you weaklings!
There, you see? The Mentonats will help keep you safe. Well, safer at any rate. Now come, I'll show you the way to Rose. As I said, Rose went to the mines to load up a train full of core. With enough, she may succeed in hatching the Ruiner. That cannot happen. You must stop her. This is as far as I go. Farewell, gunslinger.
Everyone on this backwater rock knew about Oletta. Some said she was the one who told Rose about the Ruiner. Then again, some folks are liars. I should know.
Well, looky there. You see those uniform, symmetrified wounds? Looks to me like the Hydragoyans' work. Do us all a kindness and relieve the beast of its hide, would you?
Yes, to the bloodletting! Sick!
I'll be along soon. I'm trying to wallpaper my whole house in leather. Nothing's cozier than being totally surrounded by hide. That's why nature gave us skin.
So this is an undermining popular proprietary license. I'll run it for a minute. I'm still running that class mod that gives me SMG and Hyperion, yeah, so this thing should be functionally still pretty over OP.
Hurry up and get that core loaded, before that bounty hunter comes and kick up a fuss!
Damn it, Ruin! They're here! The bounty hunter is here!
Guns up, Tomodachi! Let's get him!
Devil Riders were loading the train down with core. Thought no one would be crazy enough to try and stop them. Time to show them different.
Empty barrels make messiahs.
There was a valve that controlled the flow of core out from the mine. Vault Hunter figured they'd try to stop it at the source. Jammed. Rose must have seen that coming and locked down the controls. So the Vault Hunter took to some righteous destruction, as was their wont.
Quit squabbling with that bounty hunter and get the train moving. We got enough core.
You heard the butcher! Get this train out of here!
Company jump moving!
Vault Hunter didn't know where that train was headed, but knew if it got there, it was gonna be trouble. Question was, how to stop the train.
I require bombs. Constantly. But especially now.
They did indeed need bombs.
Found a wounded Bellic muling on the edge of town, and just didn't have it in me to leave it to suffer. Bella was my best friend, till Sheriff said she was too dangerous. So I let her loose in the forest. Hardest day of my life. Now that Sheriff's gone, though, I'd love to get her back. That old Chronoletta should know where Bella's at.
Old woman, I seek a beast named Bella for Titus. Do you know her location?
Of course I do. She's at Ginfor Grotto. I've got some foraging to do, so I'll take you to Bella's den. Try and keep up. Well, don't keep me waiting.
The company may have ruined this planet, but at least I got a movie out of the deal. This here's a tour de force, a triumph. Why, you might even say it's my masterpiece. Once this beauty hits the silver...
Vault Hunter decided to go spelunking through the core mines, looking for explosives. Company wasn't all scientists in suits. A lot of folk worked these mines back in the day. Work paid well for what it was. Still, plenty who went down into Gehenna's heart and never came back up into the sun.
Oh, there you are. You ready to find Bella?
She's up there. A whole ladder.
It was a real sorry sight the day Titus came to release Bella. Waterworks like you wouldn't believe. That boy's got a soft spot in him. Too soft for Gehenna, anyway. But I saw how he doted on her, and, well, I can't say it wasn't endearing.
As it turned out, Oletta wasn't all hard edges after all. Imagine that.
Can we get some pep in the step here?
Bella's been a wild thing for a time now. Used to say she even wants to return, but that's up to her. If she gets a whiff of Titus's scent, maybe it'll jog her memory. And I've got just the thing. A pair of Titus's trousers.
Why does she have this?
Don't ask.
It is none of my business, though I am curious.
There are some mysteries we ain't meant to know. We need to draw Bella out of her lair. Get some prime devils to get a lure. There are some feisty devils that dwell in the cave system. Magnificent specimens. Butcher them for some grade A devil steaks. Careful, though. Some are radioactive as nuclear waste, and the others are coursing with electricity. Take your pick.
Electricity?
Because Bella ain't exactly picky. Bella was a runt when Titus set her loose. I didn't think she'd last a day. But now she's made of herself a matriarch. Girl's got some fight in her, no question. We'll see how she reacts to it.
The best.
No promise.
Can these enemies even hurt me? I guess it didn't hurt me. Poke him to death. Poke him some more.
My hunt is never ending.
Come on.
Vault Hunter was thinking that electrified meat might be the way to go.
Unless they're like really encouraging you to do both.
Credit to the pack.
They gathered up all the radioactive meat, too. It's always nice to have options. The Vault Hunter knew what to do. It was time to draw Bella out of her lair. They decided on the radioactive meat, looking to lure out little Bella. And what do you know? She took the bait. Now, Bella seemed friendly enough, but would she take to Titus's scent after all these years? Vault Hunter placed the pants on the ground. Titus's pants smelled like dreams deferred and a yearning for something lost. Also days-old hotcakes for some reason. Looks like she missed Titus as much as he missed her. But the local Bellics didn't take too kindly to their matriarch turning her back on them like that. Seemed like she was following a scent on the breeze. Hell of a nose on those Bellics. Vault Hunter tailed her to make sure she made it.
I'm proud of you, Beast.
Well, look at you, girl. What a specimen. But there's someone back in town who misses you. You remember Titus, don't you?
I do not understand why you possess not one, but multiple pairs of Titus's pants.
Hey, I said don't ask, didn't I? Ready to go, girl?
Interesting. Does the Beast understand you?
Let's just say it's part of my charm. At any rate, I'm sure Titus will appreciate what you've done. I'll pick up the reward from Titus when I get into town. Here's your cut. Let's go, Bella. You haven't forgotten your way back to town, have you? Oh, come on. I'll show you.
I want to keep trying out different guns as I get them. I'm going to do this one and then probably call it.
Wouldn't know it from looking at it, but they sure packed a punch.
Oh, you made it to Florida.
You know what? I haven't noticed in a while any loot midgets, or I guess pink or whatever. Not in any of the DLCs or anything. It's been kind of just not there lately.
Death welcomes you.
You never did know where that weird old bastard would pop up. He caught me making water one time, and I damn near broke his teeth in for it. Creep.
What in the world is this gun? Only in loot mechanics. Surprise. There's another one. And I didn't want to examine it anyways.
I hear you, beast!
You wanted to see me?
I did. Boys around here say that when you want bloody work done, the hatchet's who you call. Now listen close. We're gonna make another run on the town, and I want you by my side when we do.
All right. What we going for? Got plenty of munitions, foodstuffs. Don't seem short on supplies.
Oh, this isn't a supply raid. That's the old way of doing things. I want you to take the town. And I don't expect there to be any survivors. You understand me?
That's bloody work.
I'm the butcher, and you're the hatchet. Frankly, I don't see how it was gonna be any other way.
Those bombs were looking mighty handy, laced with refined core for a bit of extra oomph.
The runner was my grandma's project, you know. She put her heart and soul into it. Then the company got cold feet. But I'll finish what she started. Bring her dream to life. Then Gehenna will be mine, and there won't be anyone fool enough to try to take it from me.
Supposed to do a thing? Supposed to do something? What am I doing here? What's going on? Who's doing what? Am I doing a thing here? Am I supposed to... Am I supposed to... No, just I'm up here? Am I supposed to do something here? No. I need to... do something simpler. That is obvious. Oh, okay, over there, there's a... halfway blends in. Here we go.
Another dead townsperson. Hey, you see those scorch marks? Electricore must have done this. This is great. As far as tragedies go, I mean. Now you go avenge the dead folks so I can get that skin. Perfect. I've been trying to find some pink and purple leather for an even look, and that Electricore hide looks like just the thing.
Kind of has more of a feel of what I would imagine like a Jacob's gun. So you don't go down here, and there's no way up. How you supposed to get up there? It's gotta be something simple. I gotta be overthinking it. A little simpler. Looking for something. Here we go. Blend right in. I already forget that those things exist. Like every time they come around, I'm like, oh, this is a neat mechanic. I didn't know this was in the
enough
game.
explosives to annihilate the train. Now to find it.
No time to lose. Vault Hunter had to find a shortcut. Tunnel had collapsed. Company never bothered to clear it out. Yep. Told you they packed a punch. The shortcut worked wonders. Vault Hunter set to planting those explosives on the tracks. Luckily, the train didn't come along till they were done. Trust me on that. That's just how stories work.
Okay, so they have this little artifact going. If anything, they probably could have made like it glow just a little bit more from a distance, so you kind of saw like more like a structure there. That probably would have made this little mechanic just like ever so slightly better. With nothing back here. It was probably time for secrets and mysterious things. Why didn't I do it? Unless perhaps this is involved.
According to my logs, there's a Sato journal near you.
See, like, okay, so they did everything they could to apply in, like, a new fresh character to kind of substitute the other ones. It's like Historian Fortanus, but then I never met the Historians. I guess I did something out of order. Anyways.
Captured the Devil Rider today. Made him tell us about the code.
It's kill or be killed, mostly. Killing the weak's fine. Killing the strong, though? Now that's how you move up. The ink, that's only for the big kills. Which gave me an idea. What if we covered ourselves in tattoos and bluff our way into the gang? Just might last long enough to meet their leader and take them down.
Speed off the desert! It's a giant! Find him first! I want my cut!
The hunt takes all!
Get another life with pound!
Did you see that?
Hang me out and call me jerky. You found another one of my treasures. I was starting to wonder if anyone would ever spot that one.
Like, were we supposed to talk to a guy? It's just like hint you down to where those are located or something?
That's the spirit. You won't even be my first kill. Excellent kill, boy.
Neat. Alright, you can get up here. They didn't have anything up here for you to go? No chest? Not even like a little tiny baby chest?
Bombs were set. Now for my favorite part. Boom. The explosion echoed through the forest, and those devil riders didn't even get a chance to hit the brakes. Final stop. Now the Vault Hunter needed to find out where that train was going. Figured the conductor would know, if he was still in one piece.
You know what? I'll run it. Get a little bit of a break up there. The Quasar is great, but yeah, I gotta get a little bit of pacing here.
Trust your friend Marcus. You want what I'm selling. Have some money. Now, why not
Let's skip on the trick and forgiven. I'm gonna go ahead and toss the Echo because I'll probably find a better one later. And the Devastator I have now is pretty damn good.
to have one just like that? Everyone has their price. You know where to find me.
Screw you, gunslinger. Beautiful last words out of that bastard. Luckily, that wasn't the conductor.
I couldn't live down the end of the line missions from 2, and I basically repeat it again, but put it into the cave of the doll mining area.
Nope, wasn't that one neither. There he was, the conductor.
Butcher Rose is gonna make you pay for that. See you in ruin, bounty hunter.
Rose called in a friend to do her dirty work for her.
You there. How are you advancing rather slowly? teleport. There is more to do, my friend.
Robin's call. What's up? Full round bag.
You're too late, gunslinger.
It was time to find out what that cackling bastard knew.
Death comes for you soon. Before she takes you, where was this train going?
Facility. Doesn't matter now.
The last shipment. You're too late.
A firestorm, huh? A longbow firestorm. Alright, what's this thing? Oh, hey, look. An echo. So this is a cloning hunter seeker. It's supposed to be like a Dune reference, I guess. Yeah, I'll pick up the purple to sell it later.
Juno, can you hear me? Rose has been transporting core to a facility of some kind.
Yeah, I know where it is. Been there before. I'll meet you outside. You
What?
ain't getting in
What?
without my help.
Teleport in there.
I froze in before you're dead. When you're shot to
What's my backpack's limit? So 16 out of 50. That's pretty good. I got one of whatever these diamond keys are all about. Alright. So, that's a decent place to kind of end it off. Continue the little thought experiment. Not sure what that was all about. Otherwise, I'll keep on going throughout the week. Next week, I won't be able to do probably any streaming at all that next Saturday, this Saturday to the following Saturday. So I'm trying to get a lot of